New Mexico is a land of stories, myths, and legends. The unexplained and the unexplored. I'm Chad Brummett, and we are exploring the unique and unusual world of New Mexico Strange. Hello, and thank you for joining us on this episode of New Mexico Strange. I'm Chad Brummett.
And I'm Stephanie Chavez.
And we have a good friend in studio today that most people, they're like, oh, it's the ghost guy. It's the ghost hunter. But today we're actually not talking about ghosts.
No.
But something just as potentially elusive and something I didn't even know that New Mexico had tales of.
Right. And some people do hunt this particular thing.
This
creature.
Cryptid.
Yeah.
Yes. He's, elusive. So do we want to call him Bigfoot? Do we want to call him Sasquatch? We're not going to call him Yeti, right? Because that's on the other side of the world in the Himalayas. But Bigfoot in New Mexico.
Squatchy.
Squatchy.
I feel like
there you
that's
go.
A cute
El
little.
Squacho.
He's a Squatchy.
El Squacho, right?
Sure, yeah.
Cody Polston joining us today. And Cody is an author, Wicked Albuquerque, Ghosts of Old Town. You have done ghost tours, all sorts of ghost stuff. But the credentials that we're interested in today was something that you and I sitting over a cup of coffee, you said, hey, did you hear about those Bigfoot stories? What?
It's the universe. Because we talked, and now my publisher, can you do a book on cryptids in New Mexico?
Are you kidding?
No, I'm that's what I'm working on now is cryptids in New Mexico.
No kidding.
But here's the weird thing. If you ever go on YouTube, there's a show called Breaking Bigfoot. So it's one of the actors from Breaking Bad.
No kidding.
And he's all into Bigfoot and Bigfoot hunting. So, yeah, it's all over.
Breaking Bigfoot.
Breaking Bigfoot.
Okay, we got to find that.
Yeah.
I did not know that
Cool
existed.
shirt.
How funny. Yeah, really. That is a very cool shirt.
So before we unpack some of these stories of Bigfoot in New Mexico, you come at things as an investigator. You come at things that you want data. You want evidence, right? Like you're just
right.
Look, there's some fur. Clearly, it's a Bigfoot. What is your stance on this idea of this sort of hybrid, possibly missing link, 8-foot tall, bipedal creature that somehow for hundreds of years has eluded us?
I want to believe, but
Yes.
there's not enough there to support it. I think the biggest problem when we start talking about Bigfoot is the hoaxes. There's been so many, and they start in the 1950s and all the way to present day. When I started researching the Bigfoot part for the book I'm writing, well, Facebook obviously latches onto that. Now I'm getting Bigfoot pictures in my feed of Facebook, and a lot of them are just, that's a guy in a costume, So that's a big issue that you got to deal with. You've heard about the Iceman back in, 2004? Mm-hmm. This guy, he had a frozen Bigfoot that he claimed that they'd found. Mm-hmm. Except this guy, he owns a company called the Whoredome.com. He goes, that's my Bigfoot costume. They took the costume, and filled it full of slaughterhouse remnants and to make it look real, but it was exposed as a hoax. Then 4 years later, he pulls another similar hoax. That one goes for a little while, charging people to go see the Bigfoot corpse before it gets exposed. So that really taints anything that logical, serious Bigfoot hunters, it affects their reputation.
Sure.
But what is clear, whatever they're doing now, it's not working. So if Bigfoot is real, what they're doing is not working. They need to think out of the box. Maybe get drones or do like a grid kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But, they claim, well, we got DNA evidence, but you look, it's inconclusive, so that's not good enough. Or, hey, we got a hair and it's a primate, and everybody gets excited. Right. But what gets dropped is they do further analysis. It was a human hair. Still primate, but it's explainable.
Right.
So the evidence just isn't there.
Right.
But, there's so many hoaxes and things that, for example, I came across one article in 2012, happened up in Wyoming. Mm-hmm. And it was some guy dressed as a Bigfoot trying to freak his friends out. He got hit by 3 cars on the highway. I guess he was trying to cross the highway, and then, Bigfoot, and someone, So yeah, it's just really kind of a mess.
So I think really the thing is, don't try and pretend you're Bigfoot. Don't be a hoaxer.
Yeah.
Don't be a hoaxer.
Yeah, learn the lesson from that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us about some of the stories that have allegedly happened here in New Mexico concerning El Squacho.
There's a lot. A lot of El Squacho going on in New Mexico. If you actually go to the Bigfoot Research Center, they have all the listings by county.
Okay.
There was one in Socorro down by Bosque del Apache. There's Taos is another one. One of the freakiest ones, and this would freak me out.
Sure.
So this guy's driving up in Taos, right? And nature calls. He needs to use the restroom, right? So he pulls over and he finds this secluded spot, and he's out there and doing his thing, right? He looks over, and there's a Bigfoot sitting there. He's watching him go to the bathroom. That would terrify me.
Absolutely.
This is kind of a vulnerable moment.
Exactly.
1,000%.
Excuse me, Mr. Squacho, can I get some privacy, please?
But like, what are you going to, like, you know how animals, like dogs, they pee to mark their territory?
Yeah.
Well, what if he just peed there, and like now I'm there, and so like I'm intimidating him, you know? Like, I would. And of course, Ben Radford, it's probably just a hairy homeless person. I'm still running.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Doesn't matter.
That one was weird. There's a couple of other ones down by Silver City. And I think one of the more interesting ones, it was a big, tall camper trailer. And this guy and his wife were staying out there camping. And the height to the window is about 8 feet, 'cause it's one of those bigger, tall pull trailers. And they were sitting there eating. They could hear something moving outside. And according to the story, the guy turns, and there's Bigfoot looking in the window. So he would have to be very tall to look in the window. But here's the weird thing. You ever seen the Harry and the Hendersons?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's how they described him looking. So this got me curious. What does Bigfoot look like? So I started going through and looking at, okay, what are their faces like? And they're very radically different how they describe what Bigfoot looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe there's different races of Bigfoot. Who knows?
Yeah, different sort of
Ethnicities.
variations.
Yeah.
Yeah, different, genetic sort of paths that the creature has gone on. But it also, again, it's that testament, because I remember that the Harry and the Hendersons, he was a cute guy.
Yeah.
I would like to imagine that El Squacho, as we are calling him for this episode, is friendly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that. I've never encountered
Unless you
one of them,
cross
but I
him.
would like to believe that
Right.
they'd be gentle.
Right, exactly. That you would hope that they are.
I think the most compelling thing that I came across, I don't know if you were, the survival kick that was in media, you remember Man vs. Wild?
Yeah.
Survivor Man, Les Stroud, has a whole series on just Bigfoot because he was up in the Canadian wilderness and had an experience. So you figure if anybody can get, Survivor Man will get Bigfoot.
It's going to be the guy, right? Yeah.
And so he was like, he had an encounter, and it was at the periphery of his camp. Now, he couldn't really make out what it was, but he goes, I know it wasn't a bear because I know what bears are like. And so he starts ruling out what it's not, but he's still left with questions. So he started going through. But now I start listening to what they're saying, and it's, I don't know what it is. So where you get this lapse in logic, I don't know what that was, Bigfoot. You put the cart in front of the horse. You're making an assumption that you really can't make.
Right.
The same thing with you've heard about the tree knocking, supposedly. So my mind goes, okay, like if you and I went out and we were up in the New Mexico wilderness, right? All right, you go that way, I'll go this way, we'll meet back around. Or you go, okay, I want to try to communicate with Bigfoot. So you start banging on the tree with a stick. I hear it, oh my gosh, Bigfoot's trying to communicate with me. So I'm banging on it, and then we're going back and forth.
Right. Right.
So yeah, there's some of that kind of stuff. But like the same thing with the tree shelters. They find where these trees are weirdly arranged, and they're saying that the big feets are doing this kind of thing. But we didn't see it build it. How do we know?
Right. How do you equate that?
See,
it's
there's
this
always
animal?
that question mark. Really, what is it really?
Don't be afraid. New Mexico Strange will be right back.
Is humans, and I believe that we've discussed this in previous episodes pertaining more to ghosts, or like the human brain needing to assign a pattern. Like if you see a shape in clouds, it looks like a face, it looks like this. Seeing, the Virgin Mary on a tortilla, or,
Yeah.
Our brain needs to assign some sort of order to this unknown or this chaos. And so it's easier for us to grasp that crazy noise clearly must be a Bigfoot, or this creature, which could very well be a bear. I mean, I don't know that I could tell between a grizzly and a black bear, other than maybe their fur. But looking at a muzzle or crocodile, alligator, that same thing, I'm not versed enough to really know the difference. Right. So if I see something in a passing glance outside my trailer in the woods, and I'm Mr. Horror Movie guy, like my scary movies, my brain is immediately going, it's Bigfoot. It's probably not, Chad, because but it's our brain just needing to decide that.
What if it is, though,
exactly.
Chad?
Yeah, I mean, and I imagine in a lot of your investigations in the paranormal, you have had similar experiences where it's like witnesses, it's not that they're lying, they just maybe don't necessarily know what it is they're watching.
Well, here's a good example of that from my youth. I was high school, and me and my friends, we always had, we pranked each other. It was just our way of, having fun. Well, I worked in the drama department, and they pulled out a bunch of wigs, big old huge box. And my friend Bruce goes, no, I want those. What? I got an idea. Follow me. So we take all these wigs, we get a pair of coveralls, we sew the wigs onto the coveralls. Then we take a Yoda mask, Star Wars Yoda, pin the ears back, put brown makeup, more wigs. So we start passing this story around some of our friends. Oh, yeah, there's this Bigfoot thing outside, we're in the Panhandle of Texas. It's out there, And we selected this one site to pull this little prank off. So it was a big mound of dirt hills with a feedlot behind it. So the feedlots are illuminated at night. So you had that backlighting on. And the idea is I would pick him up. We're going to drive. I'll flash the lights 2 times so he knows it's me. Then he's going to come over in the Bigfoot suit, right? So I go to pick him up. He's all set up. I get there, pick him up. There's a friend with him. I don't know who this person is. But I can't say he can't go because now he's going to be on to me. So, yeah, fine, he can come. So we drive back out there. Meanwhile, he's in the costume. The wind's kicked up, and it's coming into his mask. So he moves off the dirt,
Okay.
And by the time we arrive, he can't get back up there. So we're sitting there, we're looking at the hills. Flash, flash, flash. Where are you? Flash, flash, flash. Well, he's behind us. Right? We don't see him. We're not looking that way. So he runs, jumps on the bumper of the car, sends himself over the hood, down in front of the windshield. My 2 friends somehow managed to fit into the floorboard of the passenger seat. Freaked me out. I threw the car into drive. Wow. He rolled off, and the car spun around, and he's walking away, So we went back, and I'm like,
he ended up pranking you guys.
He scared me even. So I got back. The kid, this guy we didn't know, he was freaked out. He's crying, take me home. Okay, dude. Took him home, went back out and picked him up, and by now our buddy was in on it now. I had to tell him. Mm-hmm. And so we picked him up. Well, we assumed, okay, Rick would have told his friend that, he never did. Meaning this guy, he is a credible witness. He really did see something real.
Yeah.
And, and everybody trusted him. He was, a Catholic altar boy,
Right.
So if 2 kids are doing this in Texas, how many are doing it across?
Right.
Goes to show you how easy it is to make a Bigfoot costume.
The way I found this,
is some wigs and some coveralls.
There you go, and a Yoda mask.
Yeah, and a Yoda mask.
Here's the thing. The way I found this out, I was in the Air Force for a while. I would come back to visit my parents, and I happened to stop, and visiting people. I'm getting gas at an Allsup's, and it was a truck full of kids. Yeah, we're going out. We named the guy Elmo. Elmo. All right, just to, that's how ridiculous it was. But anyway, I hear him. Yeah, we're going out, and you mean the Bigfoot thing? Yeah. He's moved. He's out there. And I tried telling him, guys, we made that up. Oh no, my cousin's girlfriend saw it, and it spreads. So it's so easy just to start something and have that just blow up into a legend.
Because again, that he's going to have this certain description of who or what he saw. And then it's like the game of telephone, right? Like you tell that, and then that person is going to add and, embellish, and it's going to grow, and it just continues on. I've always been, speaking of costumes, and talking about, how easy it is. And a lot of people have, they've said, it's got to be like a guy in a costume, or it's got to be a this or a that. The one video I think that has really kind of stood the test of time in all of these, and even watching like Paranormal Caught on Camera, you know, that TV show you watch and they're like, and there's a Bigfoot. I'm like, or it's a bear. Like, it's just this thing. It's the Patterson-Gimlin film from the 1960s or 1950s. That's the, you know, the famous one that we get that sort of Bigfoot iconography from of him walking. And I know that they have had people, you know, experts in fields. I know that there's, and I'm blanking on the doctor's name that has researched him. Jeff Meldrum, I think is his name. Is that it? Anyway, that they have said, if that is a costume, that has got to be an incredible costume because you can see like the movement of the muscles and you can see, you know, that they believe that, that it was a female Bigfoot and that you can see the breasts move when it moves back. And what is your take on that? Because obviously, if it's a hoax, even for that time, incredibly well done. That the costume was just incredibly well done, at least in my opinion.
If it was, it was well done if it was a costume. There's a lot of controversy because there's supposedly one of the people that was kind of involved admitted it was a costume. So, but is he telling the truth or, and again, it gets into that whole thing. And there was hoaxing going along at the same time with the guy that was making the wooden Bigfoot shoes. He was running through the snow just to get people, you know, get attention. But I don't know. That one is a spectacular piece of film.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we only got one. We need like 50 or 60 more of those, and then you could really say, hey, there's something there.
Right.
So when it comes to, I mean, obviously we don't know. What is a Bigfoot?
There's so many
What are the
definitions.
theories?
Some people think it was a prehistoric ape that is large. Who knows?
That it was Gigantopithecus. Yeah. And that was in, you know, there is proof that this creature existed and that somehow that it may have.
Here's where it gets tricky. Modern day Bigfoot would have to be smart to dodge people. Would that?
We've never found no carcass.
Do it.
No.
I mean, because if apes are territorial, like you walk into some mountain gorilla habitat, silverback's going to confront you. You're in his house. You didn't ask permission. Wouldn't Bigfoot have that same kind of behavior?
Right.
If it's something similar to those lines. But our modern lore, if you will, of Bigfoot, he's got to be smart. He's got to be able to hide and stay away from people. And then it goes to, you know, the far end where we involve UFOs. Well, Bigfoot is from another dimension.
Yeah.
That's why we can't find him, because he calls Scotty and teleports back.
Right.
You know. So it's such a wide range of things.
Yeah.
So like I said earlier, I think if there's nothing wrong in looking for it.
Yeah.
It's a harmless hobby as long as you don't run around the road in a Bigfoot suit. But
I was going to say, because it seems that the harm really comes from the pranksters.
Yeah.
So really, if we're learning anything, don't be the guy in the suit.
Yeah. You know, I think you need to change what you're doing. You got to think something different, because what you're doing right now isn't getting enough evidence.
Yeah. But there is a huge, there is also, and I am guilty of patronizing it as well, there is a huge pop culture that has kind of grown out of this. There is a whole sort of, like a subcategory of, merchandise that you can get and all of these different things. Even as we were talking about in cinema, Harry and the Hendersons. And I don't know if it was the Legend of Boggy Creek. I don't know if that was necessarily a Bigfoot, the Beast of Bray Road. Some people are, it was a werewolf, but there's just something that I think is more within us as human beings, that we want these kind of stories. We want that mystery. And even though logic says it's been hundreds of years, decades at least, of all of these sightings, we have never found a carcass. Like you said, we have never been able to sort of, genetically prove that, okay, there is something out there that, we can't necessarily define. But it continues on. I mean, science would say you're barking up the wrong tree, but people are just like, no, it's out there.
Or maybe it's something in the back of our minds that was there at one time. Yeah, that, for example, look, Native American culture has these things.
Right.
The Yeti, there's the Yowie. They're all over. It's not just one culture. It's all over the planet. So maybe it is a little something back there.
Yeah.
Back when we were having to fight Cro-Magnon Man or something, And, it's just this natural fear. But I think it's combined with our modern world. We're 9 to 5. We do our jobs. it's fun to think there's some mystery left out there. So there's something unknown. And that's where we're getting like paranormal tourism, ghost tours, and there's Bigfoot tours now where you can sign up and you drive around in a Jeep. Well, you've seen on that ridge, and that's all it is. But
Yeah.
Stay with us, more New Mexico Strange after this.
I think there's it's in human nature to want to believe in something, anything, and whether that be aliens. I mean, we were just talking about aliens and UFOs, whether that be ghosts, Bigfoot. You just want to believe in something.
Yeah.
All three.
Yeah. And maybe it's a thing too of that we don't want to, there are still so many mysteries, especially when you're talking about the ocean and you're talking about underwater, that there are still so many creatures that we are discovering. And it's a completely different world under the ocean. And so maybe it's that bit of, I don't want to think that we have conquered everything. I don't want to conquer. I want to be able to say there are still things out there
that we don't know anything about.
Yeah. To quote Shakespeare, more things in heaven and earth than are dreamt of in your philosophy. And I think that there is, I think that that's probably the realm that maybe he is, he does live in another realm, and it's that realm of the imagination, but it's still very salient to people, and it still serves a very real purpose.
Yeah.
Well, and back to your point, Chad, about the pop culture aspect. I mean, before the interview started, we were talking about what you can find up at the tram, bumper stickers with Bigfoot stole my beer written on it, or Bigfoot in New Mexico stickers. And
is that still there? Can I?
I've even now. You can't. I just started doing this. I was behind some guy yesterday on I-25. He had a Bigfoot. It was the shape of a Bigfoot, but the New Mexico flag was the print.
Yeah.
So
I've seen a lot of those as well. Yeah. That it's, again, I think of the Pacific Northwest. I will think of, the Canadian Rockies or and the, all of that area. That's where I think of Bigfoot. So seeing, the New Mexico flag.
But is he in Jemez? Maybe.
There's a lot of sightings in Jemez.
Yeah.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
I counted them. I think there were 78 Bigfoot sightings on their website.
No kidding. Wow. All right, well, anyone in Jemez out there, if you have actually got some evidence, we want to see it. We want to get our investigator to see it. So you're working on this book. I know we got to wrap things up here in just a minute, Cody. But you've got a number of books that are currently available. Do you have a timeline of when this New Mexico Cryptids book is going to be on shelves?
It'll probably be about a year.
About a year.
Yeah, it takes that takes that, and that's not me. That's the publisher.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It takes that long to get it through.
Okay, gotcha. But where can we get what books can we get that are available now? Because I've read at least Wicked and Ghosts of Albuquerque. You've got a bunch of them.
Next month, I have Dark Tales of Old Albuquerque. So that's all the controversial history of Old Town.
Okay.
That was kind of covered up in the 1950s. Like,
really?
We had a huge red light district there, hangings, the lynchings, where they happened, all of that. So it's that kind of stuff. And then on my fiction end, I came up with, got a new, have you seen Kojak the Night Stalker? You might know.
Oh, yeah. Take
Kojak the Night Stalker, put him in the year 1900, but make him a 20-year-old librarian.
Okay, I like that.
In London.
Okay.
So that's kind of like the new fiction stuff that I'm doing, and that's doing really well right now.
Okay, okay. Where do you recommend we pick up some of these? Because Steph is a big book reader.
Page One has almost, I think they're the one big indie store that supports local authors. If they don't have it, Amazon is probably your best bet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you into the horror novels? And
Yeah.
Okay, well, perfect.
Yep.
So you can get the fiction, I'll get the nonfiction. We'll meet in the middle.
Yeah.
There we go.
We'll cover it.
We'll compare.
We'll compare notes, exactly. Did you find a Bigfoot in your readings? Didn't find a Bigfoot in mine.
So you'd have to get Shadows of the Ghost Lake. That's the Ghosts of Old Town, but I turn them into scary stories.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Cody, thank you so much. It is always a pleasure hanging out and talking with you. And again, guys, if you have seen a Bigfoot, if you got any Bigfoot information, give us a call.
Send us an email with the pictures.
Yes.
I'm dying to see it. Yeah.
Of his face.
Of his face.
We want
not a shoulder
proof.
blurred moving. That could be a guy, in a Yoda mask.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't want to see you in your costumes.
Except, well, we'll save that for a Halloween episode.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what we'll do. Well, in the meantime, guys, make sure that you download the KRQE Now app. That's where you can get more episodes of New Mexico Strange, New Mexico Crime Files, all of our original programming. And, of course, keep up with us on krqe.com, online, and on our social medias. Until next time, I'm Chad Brummett.
I'm Stephanie Chavez.
And this has been New Mexico Strange.
Bye.